Everybody, it's Justin. Welcome to Live Ask Me Anything number 84. Pretty sure. I think it's 84. Could be wrong about that. That would be embarrassing. What's up, guys? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy Clovis crazy paleo powder sale day, week, month, however long it takes. Guys, there's a crazy sale going on. This is really the first time I've talked about it outside of the groups, really, because I wanted to keep this for my peeps. All my Clovis tribe, gave you guys first dibs, and you did not disappoint. You got on there, bought a crap load of bags, sold me out of post-workout cacao. No more post-workout, guys. That's crazy. Except, well, there's post-workout vanilla. Don't worry, you can still get post-workout vanilla. Oh, thank you. All the like buttons, all the happy buttons, all the laugh buttons, all the love buttons. I love all the emojis. Guys, I've started using emojis. It just feels so good to say it out loud, to just say it out loud. It started with frickin' Instagram captions because everybody does emojis on Instagram. They're really good for engagement. So I write all the Clovis Instagram captions and I started using emojis because they work really well. And then I was like, wait a minute, these are actually a pretty convenient way to get things across that save time. 5 years ago, I would have kicked my own ass for using emojis. What's happening? This is so weird. I'm changing as a human. Thanks, Clovis. Well, what's up, everybody? I want to make sure the podcast is running because it's been giving me trouble. We had technical difficulties last week, but I think I've squared it away so that won't happen again. Shouldn't happen, okay? What's up, everybody? What's up, Judy? What's up, Stephanie? What's up, Cameron? What's up, Jennifer? What's up, Catherine? What's up, Dad? What's up, dude? Papa Nault here. All right. What's up, Allison? What's up? Hi, everybody. There's a lot more of you, but I can't see them all. It's weird when I'm on desktop. All right, so AMA number 84. So I've been swamped this week. A lot of stuff happened. The sale has happened. Paleo powder bags are $30 on IamClovis.com. So if you haven't gotten any, get over there and get them before I run out. I also announced today that this same deal is going to be pushed out to Amazon at the end of the week. So once this goes on Amazon, that's 95 million customers that have access to this, and Paleo powder has wonderful reviews on Amazon, so it's going to fly off the shelves pretty quick. And then, yeah, there'll be some changes coming for Clovis in the future, just kind of rethinking some things, reworking some things. It's been an emotional week for me to let go of some paleo powder products that are really near and dear to my heart. Thank you guys for sharing this with me. Thank you for buying the powders and loving them and telling me all the ways that you're disappointed that they're going away. It actually really makes this a little bit easier for me to understand that people actually really love these products as well. But just need to rethink some things because my focus for the future of Clovis is you guys. My focus is what value I can bring to the table for your life and for the lives of others, to change people's lives for the better, impact people's lives for the better. You guys know that. That's my personal philosophy. That's what I wake up every morning with the intention to do, impact people's lives for the better. I can do that more with information than I can with products, particularly products that were kind of weighing Clovis down and making things a little bit difficult in terms of monthly cash flow and things like that. It's really hard to run a company, guys. There's a reason why most people don't do it. Really, really hard, okay? I'm telling you, it's a lot. If you've never run one, I promise you, it's 100 times harder than you think it is. But it's wonderful. It's a labor of love. And it's makes me happy every day. So I just made this decision for the future of Clovis. It's all going to get better from here. So that happened. I had a catastrophic email malfunction where I had no email for like 30 some odd hours this week. That was crazy. So really been spending most of today just getting caught up. So no whiteboard presentation tonight. I asked you guys to submit questions at ama.iamclovis.com, and you did. So we can go ahead and jump into these questions. We got lots of crazy questions tonight. Everything from sparkling water brands to ayahuasca. Cool. Let's dive in. Why not? Let's do it. And again, if you guys have questions here, you can ask them. Just pop your questions into the comments. As I'm talking about things, you can add to them. You can ask me to add to them. You can say you want clarification on something, or, hey, Justin, slow down. You talk really fast. You New Englander, that's too much. Take it easy. I may or may not have already bought 23 bags. Should I buy more? Yes, you should always buy more. Don't ever ask a business owner if you should buy more of his stuff. Actually, that surprises people a lot because they're just like, hey, do I need to take your paleo powder to lose weight? I'm like, no, absolutely not. You don't need to do that. Any business owner who sells supplements that says you need their supplements to lose weight, that person's a dick, and you shouldn't buy anything from them because they're lying to you, fundamentally lying to you. If someone's like, you need my supplement to lose weight, I have a nutrition plan I'll sell you, and you have to follow the nutrition plan, but you also need to take my supplement. Without my supplement, you're not going to lose fat. That person is dishonest. you should choose someone else to give your money to. Perhaps Justin from Clovis. That works. All right. So let's dive in. I thought about having wine tonight. I'm glad that I didn't. I would be too silly. I'm in a very silly mood. I'm quite overworked, but got a badass workout in today. It was awesome. I feel really good. So feel really good right now. And I'm going to get some sauna and cold shower. And after this, it'll be beautiful. So let's hit some questions. And you guys shoot me whatever you want to hear. What's up, Laura? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Clint. Hey, Travis. Catherine. What's up, everybody? All right. So this first one is kind of a silly question. That's a terrible way to preface it. I'm sorry, person that asked this question. Kind of a silly question, but it does lead into some things that are pretty interesting to talk about in terms of the world of food manufacturing. So this question is about LaCroix, and I actually did tackle LaCroix before this person asked. They said they didn't know if this had ever been talked about. I talked about LaCroix in like AMA number 5, I think, which is called like cheat days and energy drinks or something like that. Like literally, we're on AMA number 84. It's probably 90 weeks since I've done AMA number 5, honestly. So it was a long, long time ago. I was talking about LaCroix and energy drinks and Zevia and stuff like that, right? So the question says, I've asked this before, I think, and don't know that it's been addressed. I'm sorry if it has. What the hell is in LaCroix? What does essences mean? And how does it have nothing in it? What say you, Justin? So I say there is a reason why I have virtually zero packaged foods in my daily life. This is because I do manufacture supplements, after all, and I do have a history of manufacturing food products. My very first paleo powder back in 2016 was actually categorized as a food product and had nutrition facts on it instead of supplement facts. So we're going to get into that. So I've been on both sides of supplement manufacturing and nutrition facts manufacturing. Now, paleo powder is a supplement now because I added pharmaceutical grade supplements to it, like branched chain amino acids, L-glutamine, CoQ10, glutathione. Once you start adding those types of things, you now become a supplement, not a food product anymore. What I did not realize is that supplement facts over nutrition facts are far more strict, really more strict. There's a lot of leeway on nutrition facts. So let's dive into this LaCroix thing. So I recommend specific brands and products that I have vetted. Yet with just about every single custom plan that happens, somebody comes back to me and they say, hey, I looked at your recommended products and brands, but what about XYZ brand? This happens endlessly, right? And I'm just like, guys, listen, first of all, there's no way I could ever vet every single product that you bring to me. Like it's crazy to think that I could get to everything or that I have time to review this new product that you're bringing to me. It's very, very difficult, right? Now, secondly, every time, I repeat every time, somebody's like, no, you have to check out this product because you recommend this other product, but this one, you really got to check it out. And when I do take the time to check it out, I always find something wrong with it. Always, 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 okay? So remember, none of these supplement products or these, Zevia or LaCroix or whatever, none of these things are whole foods that you need every single day. You don't need any of them. Like I said, with supplements, there's no supplement. There's nothing in a package that you need that you can't get from food, right? Now, as for LaCroix, let's dig into this nutrition facts thing, because the reason it has quote unquote nothing in it is simply that it has such low levels of some things, plural, some things. It has such low levels of some things in it that they don't legally need to state it on the label. So it's crazy to me that people see zeros on a label and they really think that there's nothing in there but water. That is just not true. Absolutely not true, okay? So I'll need to brush up on facts on this. I'm gonna just think off the top of my head. So it's been since 2015, actually, that I manufactured a food supplement in the Perfect Paleo Powder. And it's been since 2017 that I manufactured a supplement powder with Perfect Paleo Powder. So I could be off about this stuff, but let's just going on regulations that I remember from when I manufactured these things. Nutrition facts are more relaxed than supplement facts because it's treated as a food. So it's harder, like if you have, an extract of mushroom supplement in a capsule, you can know this is 500 milligrams in a capsule, right? But you don't actually know how much of each compound is in a whole food mushroom, like how much reishi is, you know what I mean? It's really tricky to know exact measurements for whole foods. So they're really, really lenient. Now, as far as I know, the claims on nutrition facts labels can be off by something like plus or minus 20%. It's huge. Like they can be off by a boatload and be in no legal trouble, have no repercussions whatsoever. So what this means is they can technically claim 0 for multiple ingredients, and LaCroix has nutrition facts, right? So they can claim 0 for multiple ingredients that are only present in trace amounts. You see what I'm saying? So there's not nothing in it. There can't be nothing in it, and it tastes that way and smell that way and all these things. There can't be nothing in it. You guys have to understand this. Like the average person has the wool pulled over their eyes every day by food and supplement manufacturers. That's why you need Justin in your life, right? Now, there's a class action lawsuit against LaCroix right now, and everybody freaked out about it. And LaCroix is poison. I knew it. It did blah, blah, blah. Guarantee you it's not toxic. It's not terrible toxic sludge poison that people are claiming that it is. It's just that people don't understand ingredients. Right? Now, some people will claim that LaCroix gives them these reactions. Other people drink it by the truckload all day long at work and have no problem, right? But if the lawyers don't know what's in it, the judges don't know what's in it, this class action lawsuit's still going on, there's no way that I'm going to know what's in it, so I can't tell you what's in it. But it does shed some light on the important fact that most food and supplement companies are just completely full of shit. Just completely full of shit. You have to know this, okay? So let me give you another example of while we're talking about this, right? So natural flavors. Everybody in the paleo community freaks out about this too. Natural flavors are bad. It says natural flavors on the label. You don't know what that is, blah, 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 blah. True. You don't know what that is, right? There are natural flavors labeled on all of my paleo powders, right? And I know exactly what those natural flavors are. Here's the issue. Natural flavors on a label can be anything from organic cacao powder, mine, right, to extract from beaver anus. I kid you not. Extract from beaver anus is actually used in a lot of supplements and is actually used in cigarettes as well, okay? So natural flavors, when it just says natural flavors, you really don't know what it is, but it could be completely harmless. Not only harmless, it could be good for you, like organic cacao or organic vanilla or something like that. The problem is they don't differentiate. Natural flavors can be one of over 300,000 food ingredients. 300,000, everybody. So when you see natural flavors, it can be one of over 300,000 things. And you have no idea of knowing what the hell it is, right? So that's the thing, is it's really tricky. Like I know there are natural flavors on my ingredients label because I follow regulations because I'm not an asshole. I could have called it something else if I wanted to and just risked repercussions, but I did it transparently. And I know what those natural flavors are. You don't. And they don't let me tell you. They don't let me say like natural flavors, parentheses, organic cacao. I can't do that. That's not my fault. That's regulation. That's some bullshit, right? So that's what's crazy. Now, another thing we'll talk about is people ask me about synthetics. Now, the best example of this is ascorbic acid, which has actually been getting a lot of attention lately. So ascorbic acid is a synthetic form of vitamin C. There are a lot of forms of synthetic forms of vitamins and minerals because they're easy to get in really high doses and they're super affordable. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I am the whole foods guy. Eat whole foods, change the world, right? But where some of these things get a little wonky is that people will say like, well, ascorbic acid is derived from corn. So they'll email me and be like, ascorbic acid is made of corn. That's not paleo. I can't have ascorbic acid. Oh my God. And I'm like, okay, let's think about this chemically as molecules. Ascorbic acid is a monosaccharide. Okay. This is a simple glucose molecule. Did it come from corn? Okay. It doesn't matter where it came from because the body is going to process it as a monosaccharide, as glucose, right? It's going to break it down as that. So it's not to think that taking an ascorbic acid is the same as eating corn is absolutely crazy. It's not correct. It's just not correct at all. Okay. Like you have to understand that. So it's like taking an ascorbic acid derived from corn that's broken down into a simple molecule, which is what the system would do. Your digestive system would break it down into that anyway, but it would have to break down the corn and the lectins and the anti-nutrients and all these things and might deal with inflammation, and that could be problematic. But you're not eating the corn from you're getting ascorbic acid. Basically, there's a ghost in my house. There was just a really loud noise from my office. Might have to do some jujitsu. But anyway, what you've done with the extraction process of making ascorbic acid is you've done the digestive process for the digestive system. You don't have to do that. You're just taking in ascorbic acid, right? So that's the thing, is people get crazy about these ingredients. The natural flavor is this, and this is going to kill you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, let's really just think about this. Again, me with the biochemistry. If human beings would just study like one single biochemistry book, they would be able to write off like 90% of the bullshit that's sold to them in the marketplace, okay? Just understand how your own body works. That's it. Any questions there? Spot on about nutrition in Asian countries. Yes, for those of you that don't know what Cameron's talking about, I put a post up. It's me in a tank top holding a big giant dinosaur egg. It's really an avocado, huge avocado that was taken in Thailand. And I give some staggering statistics about Asia and diabetes and sugar and oil. That's at Instagram.com/theclovisculture or just at theclovisculture on Instagram. LaCroix, it's yuck. Yeah, I agree. I don't really like it. Going to do an extended fast. You totally should. Where's the soda pop class action lawsuits? Yeah, right? Exactly. Right, Megan? Pisses me off. All these fucking health people, this makes me so mad. All these health people are like, oh my God, LaCroix, how dare you make a sparkling water that kind of has a little tiny bit of maybe flavoring or something in it. You're evil. Class action lawsuit. Oh, Coca-Cola still advertises on the fucking Super Bowl. What are we doing, people? Put your focus in the right attention. I mean, your attention in the right place. Put your focus in the right place. What are we doing? Go attack LaCroix for making sparkling water. What? Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, they're still out there, let alone all the generics, Dr. Thunder, whatever the hell, right? You're absolutely right. That drives me crazy that people were like literally posting on their Facebook about LaCroix. People posting on their Facebook, LaCroix's poison, LaCroix's poison. I've never seen you post on your Facebook about Doritos, asshole. Hi, everyone. Here I am again, calming down. This stuff drives me nuts, right? Crazy. All right, what else we got here? Okay, we got a question about paleo powder. If you guys have questions about LaCroix, you can keep going on that if you'd like to. You basically just got my thoughts on it. So this one is about paleo powder. I ordered post-workout, they're saying. I ordered post and rest and digest and rest. Okay, let me clear up this question because I ordered post-workout and digest and rest Perfect Paleo Powder and was wondering if you could briefly touch on when to use them, especially for someone who does not work out. I use the Perfect Paleo Powder for fat loss every morning. Can you use the other two in the afternoon and at night, especially if you're not met your macros? Yes, 100%. This is the tricky thing about paleo powder, everybody. If you saw my live videos in the groups where I kind of gave you this kind of heartfelt story about how I came to this decision, it's impossible to market paleo powder. Why? Because it's food. And all of you think it's a supplement. And the world thinks it's a supplement. So this means people want directions, they want instructions, they want clear cut. When do I take it? Wait, it says post-workout. I must take it post-workout. Wait, it says pre-workout. When do I take it? How long before a workout? Should I take anything else before the workout? Wait, post-workout, do I take it by itself? Do I mix it with almond milk? Do I mix it with blah, blah, blah? It's food. This is what makes it very difficult to market. Perfect Paleo Powder is food. If you want to take it before a workout, yep. Do you want to take it after a workout? Yeah, sure. Do you want to take it before bed? Okay, cool. Do you want to take it for breakfast? Perfect. Meal replacement? Awesome. Do it. Before a test or exam? Yeah, do it. Do your kids want it as hot chocolate at night? Sure, do it. Awesome. It's food. Anything you can use food for, you can use the Perfect Paleo Powder for because it's food. You see? So this is what makes things so ridiculously tricky with Perfect Paleo Powder. Post-workout, do you need to be an athlete? No, not at all. Just look at the ingredients. Look at the supplement facts. It's a whole lot of food and a whole lot of nutrients. That's it. There's nothing special. Post-workout is a claim I have to make for marketing because marketing is bullshit. You see what I'm saying? This is what makes this so tricky, everybody, is the other people, not Justin, are willing to run their companies and talk shit and say like, yeah, it has to be post-workout. Take it 15 minutes after your workout with 6 ounces of water. And if you take it 16 minutes after, oh, you're in serious trouble because my post-workout was specially formulated in a lab and we timed it. 15 minutes post-workout was the ideal time for glucose uptake in your muscle cells. You're fucking lying, right? It's all just lying. So that's the thing. It's like post-workout. Yes, I designed this for post-workout. And I put sweet potato powder in there to give you a little bit of an insulin spike. There's 5 grams of added sugar, okay, in paleo powder from, I think post-workout's organic coconut palm sugar. I can't remember, right? So what's happening is I'm trying to give you a little tiny insulin spike with a bunch of protein and a bunch of branched chain amino acids to help muscle synthesis, okay, to help rebuild. Yes, wonderful for post-workout. Also wonderful for like everything else for breakfast, for before bed, whatever. For pregnant women, it's fantastic because like if you're trying to build muscle, what do you think you're growing in your belly? Like you're growing tissues, right? So all of these things, it's like I told you, people take pre-workout before they record podcasts. People take pre-workout before work in the morning. They'll mix it with coffee, have a strawberry flavored coffee, which I actually haven't tried yet, but people swear it's amazing, right? So people will do that before work. And it's just one of these things where, and I'm not trying to, like, I'm totally joking, guys. I'm just laughing and being silly here about supplement companies and everything. Like, these are valid questions, right? But everybody does look at this thing of like, how do I use this supplement perfectly? I get this question all the time too with people about other supplements. Like, look, people are like, oh, my daughter is on this medication and the doctor says she needs to take it with yogurt. They said she needs to take this pill with yogurt. Okay, what dummy doctor is not telling you is that this is a fat-soluble medication, that you should probably take it with fat. Everybody that says you need to take this medication with food means that this molecule has a fat-soluble aspect to it, right? You should probably take it with fat. You don't need sugary yogurt to give this to your kid with the medication. Give them some grass-fed butter. Give them whole eggs. Give them a few pieces of bacon. Give them some avocado. Give them a drink with MCT oil in it. It doesn't have to be yogurt. The doctor that said that to you is a dummy. Okay? So this is the thing that's really tricky about getting the marketing across of just how to, what is pre-workout? What is post-workout? Like for a lot of you, post-workout would have been a great thing for you to take for the last year as part of your Clovis journey, But people just get hung up on these titles and things. That's why I like the supplement company. Trust me, I can do way more for you. I can give you way more value talking to you like I am right now and revealing all this nonsense to you so you don't have to deal with this in the future, right? Just people aren't real on the internet, man. These marketers, I have my supplement and you have to take it at this time and it's specially formulated for blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's specially formulated? Cool. Show me the metabolic ward studies that you did, the randomized control trials that you did on your supplement that you're selling. I would love to see those. Really love to see those because you didn't do that. Okay? So anyway, that's my spiel on paleo powder. What else we got here? Hello, Michelle. What's up? Megan, watch the rest. Last bedtime, Lana. She says, hi to Mr. No Bananas. Yes, no bananas. Unless you want a bunch of sugar in your system for whatever reason. It is perfect anytime. Yes, exactly. Paleo powder is perfect every time. Totally going to try strawberry PPP coffee. Yes, I've heard great things about it. I should probably try it because I have a bunch of sample pack. Actually, I just saw I have a 30 serving bag of pre-workout. I'll have to try that. Yeah, Michelle, exactly. The yogurt is nonsense. I'm not even going to say that comment out loud. All right, what else we got here? Still got plenty of time. Okay, let's dig in. So these two kind of go hand in hand. This one says, noticed a little bit of tenderness / possible slight inflammation in my knee joints of late and wanted to know what food or supplements do you recommend to ensure optimal joint health? Under 30 and very active and healthy. Okay, here we go. Because I remember why I put these questions stacked on top of each other. This goes back to the supplement thing. You don't need any supplements. First things first, step number 1, stop doing whatever is hurting your knee. Of course, stop it. Okay. If you're having chronic issues with joints and inflammation, it's debatable that you're healthy, right? This thing of under 30 and very active and healthy, it's debatable that you're healthy, And I mean that with love. We just have to be really careful about definitions here, right? Because if you're having chronic joint pain, yes, inflammation is present. I would argue that nobody can be deemed healthy when there is systemic inflammation. And if the inflammation is chronic, again, it's probably systemic inflammation. So we have to argue about this term healthy here, right? There's probably some things we could certainly make better. So this means lifestyle changes need to happen. Stop the offending activities and remove the inflammatory foods, okay? So whatever's hurting you, stop it. And then foods that are known to be inflammatory, stop them as well. So I put these questions, paleo powder and this one, right after each other because of this idea that supplements are the answer to anything at all. They are not, okay? I assure you, they are not. Lifestyle is always the answer first. Supplements can maybe support that kind of, but you have to understand, this is not what supplements are for. Supplements are not for curing things or whatever, right? So what happens is when people have a problem like this, they write to me and the question is always, Justin, what can I add? What can I take? What food should I take? What supplement should I take? What exercise can I add to cure this pain? Blah, blah, blah. When the question that they should be asking is, Justin, what can I take away? What can I remove? What can I stop doing to improve my issue? This is the question that they should be asking, okay? Because the only thing I'm ever going to tell you to do, ever going to tell you to add if you have an injury, is I'm going to tell you to add more rest and more sleep. Literally more time not working out and more time actually asleep in bed. Those are the only two things I'm going to tell you to do. Maybe hydration and electrolytes, maybe, right? But I will tell you a ton of stuff to take away. Sugar, nightshades, lectins, grain, dairy, fitness, take away stress, maybe add meditation, right? But taking away things has a much better return on investment than adding things for virtually anything. This is true of like headaches. It's true of anything inflammation related. It's true of training. It's true just about anything. What you take away, astronomically more impactful than what you add. I want you guys to make that shift in your head. You really need to do that, okay? So the other thing, this next one's about mindset. And this is how to change the mindset to exercise and push my body physically when I haven't been given the okay. So this person's saying, how do I stop the mindset like I need to exercise, right? Every time I think I'm not happy with where I am, I get this overwhelming feeling like I need to do a huge workout. I know better, but I hate how that's my go-to mentality. Now, this is an immense challenge, and I've gone through this myself for years and years and years. I have a full-blown fitness addict. I've been at fitness since I was 15 years old in a very unhealthy way. And you guys can go through the other AMAs. I have a checker pass with this, with testosterone and ephedrine and caffeine pills and crazy training and all this crazy stuff that I've done. I've hurt my body in tremendous ways. Boxing, broken bones in my face, broken ribs, shoulder injuries, blah, 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 sinus surgeries, all this crazy stuff, right? Now, it's true. This is a tough thing to tackle, but you tackle it just like anything else. You literally just take it on head first, face it head first, stop working out, right? So I've had a few times in my life where I was forced to stop working out. Shoulder surgery, my sinus surgery on my face. And then when I got stitches in my face, I couldn't work out for 5 weeks, according to plastic surgeons. It was in the middle of my face. So I had 7 stitches in the middle of my face. And if you see me making faces and things, the skin pretty much works like saran wrap. If I'm lifting weights and it makes me squint, right, I could pop the stitches in my face. So no physical activity for 5 weeks, right? And then when I did primal endurance, which was 12 weeks of aerobic threshold training only, which is cardio, and I hate cardio, just nothing but very light cardio for 12 weeks. In all these cases, my OCD addict brain kicked in and was like, yeah, you're gonna be 300 pounds at the end of this. This sucks, right? This is terrible. Oh my God. At the end of every single one of those times, I was shredded, like shred city from not working out for like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I was in a sling for 6 months when I got my shoulder surgery, right? So what happens is I end up with a myopic focus on nutrition because I can't train. So now I'm just paying attention to nutrition, right? That's it. Just nutrition and rest. A lot of rest and recovery. The next thing you know, like I have not trained in 5 weeks and I have a shredded six pack. You're like, what? What the hell? This is crazy. Then a lot of times I'll go back to fitness and end up inflamed and I can't see my abs the same way or whatever. It's really crazy. Like inflammation is no joke, right? But you have to get over this obsessive mindset and give your body TLC. Now, the other thing that I see here is you're saying, what's the word you used? Every time I think I'm not happy with where I am yet, I get this overwhelming feeling. So you're literally saying you don't like your body composition. You're saying you're not happy with where your body's at. So you think fitness is the answer. It assuredly is not the answer. It's not. So what I want you to do in this scenario, honestly, is I would take strategic steps here, right? So the first thing I would do is go through your Facebook and your Instagram. You have my permission to get on social media for way too long of a time and scroll through your feeds on Facebook and Instagram and unfollow every single person who's posting about fitness. Just unfollow, right? You're never going to see me on my newsfeed post to you guys telling you to do fitness. Like there's a video of me on there right now doing ring dips. That is me doing fitness in my Instagram story or whatever. But that's just like, hey, here's 15 seconds in my life, right? But my news feed, I'm not posting to you about fitness. Work out more, hustle every day, no days off, grind, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit. I'm not going to do that, right? So unfollow those people. Unfollow the people that are in the gym in every post and CrossFit or yoga every post. Unfollow anybody with yoga pants. I don't care. I don't give a shit if they're your best friend. Unfollow, right? Your friends will understand if you explain this to them. And don't be afraid to be vulnerable to your friends and tell them that you're struggling with this. You're struggling with this mindset thing. Fitness has exactly nothing to do with fat loss. I've talked to you guys about this endlessly for 84 plus weeks now, right? So I just need you to understand you're actually going to burn more fat by resting, getting the nutrition right, and going for a daily walk. You will 100% burn more fat doing that. I promise you. Don't believe me? There are clinical studies about spot reduction in fat that they've done now. They literally had a group of people. It's kind of hilarious. They had a group of people do leg press with one leg for 12 weeks. And they did crazy high reps, 900 to 1200 reps a day with one leg on a leg press. Couldn't work out the other side whatsoever. That was all the training they did. One leg press, 900 to 1200 reps, multiple times a week for 12 weeks. Do you want to know what happened? Nothing. Nothing. No additional fat loss on that one leg. That one leg didn't grow more muscle. It was just the same as the other leg. When you really start to break down fitness, the fitness industry, it all crumbles. It all crumbles under scrutiny. Almost anything we think we know about of fitness, it just crumbles under scrutiny. It really does. Really poorly designed studies. It's just silly. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. But the best thing you can do is just follow Clovis nutrition protocols and not work out. Do it for 30 days. And when you see that you did not gain 300 pounds, maybe it'll start to click in your head. You might actually end up better off. Like, there are a lot of people that come to me that are not healthy enough for fitness and they still insist on training. And I'm trying to tell them, stop training, stop training. When they finally stop training, all the weight falls off. Blah, just easy. They just lose all the weight, right? Because they were just inflaming their body day in and day out with this stuff. It's really crazy. Michelle, I've done no fitness and amazing Clovis results. Exactly. Magnesium, I've talked about magnesium at length in other AMAs. Just go get Natural Calm if you want it. I highly recommend magnesium for people every day. Yeah, for sure. What else we got? What does a day in the life of meals look like for you, Justin Nault? That's a really bad question. There are no bad questions, but I talked about this before, is you guys have to understand, I have done blood work, extensive blood work every 3 months for years. I have tested everything you could possibly test in my body, my microbiome, my blood, my genetics. I've mapped 23andMe. I've done literally every single thing that you can think of in terms of testing I have done. So I know exactly how my body works. And then right now I'm actually tweaking with some experimental stuff. It doesn't make sense for me to tell you my daily meal plan because then people might go out and try to do it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good idea. For what I tell people is anytime I'm making a blanket statement of this is what you should do to be healthy, that blanket statement is Clovis. You should do Clovis, okay? Clovis is not keto. Clovis is not just paleo, although all the foods are paleo. Clovis is not carnivore, right? Like I've been experimenting with eating very close to carnivore. That does not mean you should do that at all. Doesn't mean that, right? So it's not really helpful for me to go down that road. It's not helpful for you if I go down that road of just like, I do this, I do that. But to give you a quick blanket statement, a quick idea is I have the foods that are staple in my diet is basically liver, eggs, beef, a little bit of MCT oil, black coffee, sardines, and collagen protein. That's it. It's about as simple as it gets, right? And a whole lot of salt. I salt the crap out of food, and I probably have 7 grams of sodium a day if I had to guess. But yeah, it's just, see, it's not really helpful, right? Most people are just like, oh, dude, I don't want to eat like you at all. Yes. But also remember, like when I'm out with friends or whatever, I don't worry at all about nutrition. I mean, I still will stick to Clovis, but it's like, I'll go have a charcuterie board and eat some cheese and eat some cured meats and drink a bottle of Dry Farm wines and feel zero guilt about it. You know, that's the way that I choose to live my life, is I just handle all nutritional bases 90% of the time so that I can do whatever I want in my life and I can live a full, happy, social life, right? Okay, so let's get into some of this, I don't even know what I would call this, maybe spiritual type stuff, right? This is gonna be fun. And chicken bones. Yes, I do eat chicken bones. So I cook up, occasionally I'll buy a whole chicken and I cook the whole chicken in the Instant Pot, strip it, and then I have chicken for a few days. I don't eat a lot of chicken in my diet, but right now I'm eating chicken because I really wanted to make bone broth. So then I take the bones and all the organs and I make bone broth out of it, but then I eat all the organs and eat all the bones and eat all the skin. So I make the bone broth and then I separate the bone broth. And then I take all that junk that people would call it, all the bones and everything, and I eat them. I eat the bones. You can go to my Instagram right now and see me eating bones. Actually, that might have expired now. I think that was yesterday that I was eating bones. But yeah, I eat bones. I cook the broth long enough that the bones are really soft. So I just put sea salt on them and eat them like a snack. It's amazing. Then I eat the skin. I eat all the junk, all the veins and ligaments and everything. It's delicious. I absolutely love it. All right. So this question is, what does your meditation practice consist of? Secondly, could you share a bit of your experience with ayahuasca and what you learned from it? Yes. So I've talked about this in the past, ayahuasca being a psychedelic tea that you drink in the jungle with shamans. I can tell you a little bit about that experience. Let me just run through this meditation question real quick. This is a long journey, and it's really quite tricky for me to distill down. So I've been meditating for many years. I don't know how many years, but I've been meditating for a long time. And my meditation practice has changed a lot over the years, and it's kind of like anybody else's. I think you should start in a place that's very achievable. Headspace is great for this. Headspace has a 10 minutes for 10 days challenge. So I started with Headspace. That's where I started at the recommendation of Tim Ferriss, and started with Headspace. And then I got obsessed with like the gamification of Headspace because they track your streak, like how many days in a row you've gone. They need to remove that feature. I'm telling you, because for guys like me, that's a nightmare. So I would literally like, it'd be like 11:50 p.m. and I'd be like, I got to meditate right now so don't skip a day, you know? And it was really not good for me mentally because I'm a perfectionist like that. So I think I once meditated like 400 days in a row on the streak on Headspace. And then I went from Headspace to an app called Oak, O-A-K. I believe that's only on iOS though. Oak is amazing, just a super laid back guided meditation, super simple. And they have breathing techniques. I really like the breathing techniques for apps, for Oak app. So if you can get Oak on your iOS just to do the breathing techniques is fantastic. Then I went from Oak to the Sam Harris app called Waking Up, which is another great app. I will say it's for people who are not particularly spiritual. I actually do consider myself quite spiritual at this point. But Sam Harris is basically like meditation for intellectuals with no woo-woo. Like, and it's really cool. Like, I love learning from him. He has these amazing lessons as well, not just the meditations. He has lessons built in. So I did his app for a very long time. I don't even know, since that first launched, I did it for a long time. And then started studying a guy named Shinsen Young. Shinsen Young is amazing, and he teaches you these incredible, I mean, the guy has tomes written about meditation, all the different types of meditation. And he teaches a lot about like equanimity and walking meditations and meditating while you're doing different things throughout the day. Equanimity was a really big one for me to learn about. That kind of took my meditation practice to the next level. So I studied Shinsen Young. He has an app called Bright Mind. Did the Bright Mind app for quite some time, and then got entirely tired of trying to constantly optimize my meditation. It was one more thing in my life that I just had to optimize, right? That's not good for me. I can get very hooked on things. I can get very addict-like in terms of like OCD about certain things. Like I've talked about this before. When I used to do Beachbody, it's like I'd skip a day and want to start the whole program over because I feel like I'd failed, you know? So it can get a little tricky for me, even with these like intellectual pursuits or whatever. So what I eventually did was, at the recommendation of Rob Wolf, read a book called Stress Less, Accomplish More. And I know there are probably a lot of you listening here that have read this book as well. And I was really turned off by it at first. So I was just like, oh, come on. She's not thinking about it intellectually. This is just like, you know, some silly thing, blah, blah, blah. Read the book. Fantastic book. Fantastic book. She's like, what are you trying to be? You trying to be a monk that goes and lives in a cave and, you know, meditates, be the best person to meditate? Like, no, I'm trying to meditate so I can kick ass in life, in normal people life here in the real world, right? So Emily Fletcher teaches something called the Z technique, and that's currently what I do right now. Now, that said, I do just want to make this clear for you guys. Like, I've been wanting to do transcendental meditation for quite some time, but TM requires like a $1,500 initial upfront investment, and it's like a 4-week program, and you got to go up to a place in person. It's really kind of not easily accessible for most people, right? But TM is supposed to have just these amazing, unbelievable benefits. Like famous people like Jerry Seinfeld talk about how it changed their whole life, et cetera, et cetera. What Emily Fletcher has done here, and I have no problem with it, like super respect, great book. I love the book. It's super accessible, makes meditation accessible for everybody. But she's basically taken transcendental meditation, shortened it, and simplified it, and said, this is called the Z technique, right? So that's really what it is. She gives you a mantra in the book and everything, which transcendental meditation is mantra meditation. But that said, it's amazing. Like, go read the book, and that's what I do now. I do the Z technique. Now, fair warning, this is 15 minutes twice a day, which seems like a lot to people in the beginning. So if that seems scary, go do Headspace for 10 minutes. Go do the Oak meditation app, guided meditation for 10 minutes a day, right? If that seems scary, then, because that's the other thing, is I have a lot of days where I get super busy and I miss that second meditation. I kind of beat myself up about it. So I need to be a little bit better about that. I still beat myself up about perfectionism things. Everybody, don't worry. I don't have this all figured out either, right? Not some kind of God who doesn't have negative self-talk. I still struggle with these things. That said, that second meditation is magical. far more magical than any form of meditation I've ever done. So something about that, when I get the second meditation in the afternoon, I have a timer that goes off on my phone at 2 p.m., tells me to go meditate. So I do a lot of really deep intellectual work all day, every day, right? It's very exhausting on the brain. Something about me like walking out of my office, going to my bedroom, sitting down, lotus position, and doing that 15-minute meditation in the afternoon, I'm telling you, I have reached altered states of consciousness, like 100%. I know that sounds woo-woo, I know that sounds weird, but trust me, I know a whole lot about altered states of consciousness. I know what they feel like, and I have absolutely gotten there. Only in this afternoon. It doesn't happen in the morning. Something weird about just taking a break from the day and going into this place is just like blissful. It's like my brain wants so badly to shut down. And she'll explain this in the book, but you get to these certain states that are actually more restful than deep sleep cycles. And they've actually tested this with like functional MRIs and all these clinical settings and everything. It's literally like you're getting extra deep sleep. It's unbelievable. So I always try to get that second meditation in, but yeah, so to make a long story even longer, I am using the Z technique right now. That is the meditation that I do. But as I just explained to you, my meditation journey has been long. Sometimes things change. I've had times where I've been meditating for an hour a day, just in complete silence. I've done just about every meditation you can think of. And yeah, it's quite great. I like it. I'm a big fan of inner child meditations. Those are really cool. If you can just YouTube those if you want to. YouTube some inner child work. Yeah, so anyway, that's my meditation, the Z technique. So pick up Stress Less, Accomplish More by Emily Fletcher, and it's a really, really good book. You don't get bloated feeling from salt. What is the down low on salt in a nutshell? Okay, salt in a nutshell, you got to go watch a whole nother AMA. I'll send you a link for it. I've covered this like way at in depth. That's the reason why I'm just kind of glossing over this here, because blood pressure has been such a huge topic in Clovis that I'd just be beating a dead horse if I did that stuff here. So there you go. I just responded to you and sent you another episode to watch. That's called Blood Pressure, Salt, and Sex. Salt is critical to human survival. It is an essential mineral. Without it, you die. I would argue that virtually all Americans are completely deficient in sodium, and that's a huge problem. Particularly if you are switching to a low carbohydrate diet, you need more sodium 100%, right? And if you're getting bloated from salt, you are probably insulin resistant. I hate to tell you that. I know that's big and scary, but yeah, if you are taking salt in and feeling this incredible bloated feeling, people come to me and they're like, you told me to take salt and now I'm bloated and I feel like crap. You basically tried to poison me. And I'm like, uh-oh, you have legit metabolic dysfunction and we really need to sort this out, because you should not be feeling bloated from salt. Now, salt is not a hot pocket. So let's be clear about that, right? Like sodium in packaged foods, that's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about like sodium from Redmond sea salt, like from actual sea salt. So sodium should not make you feel bloated. If it does, you're probably dealing with like early stages of metabolic syndrome. You could be, because insulin resistance is usually, there's a whole, anyway, go watch the Blood Pressure, Salt, and Sex episode. You just boil a whole chicken, right, for the bones? Yep. Well, I use an Instant Pot because it's way faster. I can make bone broth in 2.5 hours in an Instant Pot. Michelle, love Sam Harris. Yep. Great read. Switch on Your Brain. Carol Leaf. Cool. I have not read that. Nope. I'll check it out. Love my salt shots. Yes, 100%. Me too. Yes, or using the wrong salt. Yeah, it could be the wrong salt for sure. There's a lot of salts with microplastics in them, and they've tested positive for microplastics. So that's quite scary. So the last thing I'll touch on tonight is this person asked me about ayahuasca. So just straight up, I'm being a lot more open and honest about this stuff lately. I think psychedelics are fantastic. I think they're amazing. I think you should all do them. Just kidding, everybody. Just kidding. I'm not a doctor. That's not medical advice. I would never suggest that you do something that's illegal, right? That was a joke. That was a joke, everybody. We're making jokes here, okay? I'm basically a stand-up comedian at this point. Yeah, okay. But no, seriously, get on Amazon, watch a movie like Neurons to Nirvana. If you get on Amazon Prime and watch Neurons to Nirvana, that's a great place to start. You can pick up Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind. Fantastic book, all about psychedelics. MDMA and psilocybin, which is the main ingredient in magic mushrooms, are both in stage 3 clinical trials for the treatment of PTSD in soldiers, for the treatment of drug-resistant depression, for the treatment of addiction. Psilocybin is incredibly powerful for addiction. LSD is also super powerful for addiction. People don't know that the founder of AA was a firm believer that LSD, acid, should be part of the protocol in AA. And all the other people involved in AA were like, well, we can't do that because we're telling people to get off drugs. He's like, this is not a drug. Psychedelics are not drugs, right? Psychedelics are not recreational drugs. Trust me. You want to go do a big heroic dose of mushrooms and then come back tomorrow and try again. No way, no how. You're not going to do it. Okay. So I know this is still taboo for a lot of people, and it seems funny and it seems like I'm being silly or whatever, but I'm telling you, like, I would tell you that probably, I bet you over 50% of my personal development work over the last 7 years, I could attribute directly to psychedelics. Now, psychedelics with integration, because I'm big on journaling. Anytime I have an experience, I will take days and days to journal about that experience, really integrate it, really let that be a part of my life. I have never taken psychedelics recreationally, ever. I cannot even fathom taking psychedelics and going to a concert or some bullshit. That's not what these are for, okay? These are literally medicinal plants that were provided for us by whomever you believe in, and they're unbelievable, right? Absolutely unbelievable. Tim Ferriss has invested $2 million of his own money for a center in Europe, I believe, that is treating drug-resistant depression. So SSRIs don't work. Why? Because SSRIs are bullshit, and depression is not a chemical imbalance in the brain. There's no clinical data on planet Earth that says that. People still try to argue with me on this all the time. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. Show me the science that says that. It doesn't exist. I promise you. I do this. This is what I do every day. It doesn't exist, right? So psychedelics are the next frontier, I promise you. Now, the problem is pharmaceutical companies are going to come in and steal the show. Absolutely. They're going to completely mess this up. And that's the issue with things going legal in America, is America's one of the most corrupt countries in the world, honestly. So what's going to happen is they're going to go legal and mainstream, and then you're going to need insurance. You're going to need a prescription to get them. They're going to be astronomically expensive. It's going to be a nightmare. But anyway, that's just the way things go. It's not so bad because it's going to give people, access to it for sure. So let's talk about ayahuasca. So the best thing I can do here, how much time I got? Yeah, I'll just kind of walk you through the story. So I researched psychedelics for 1.5 years, about a year and a half before I ever decided to do any. And I have had zero experience with psychedelics. I tried alcohol and weed as a teenager and in my 20s or whatever. I hate weed. I really don't like weed. Don't like how it makes me feel. I never really did. I just never really liked it. So needless to say, I was completely inexperienced with psychedelics, but I did a lot of research. And then eventually found myself going to do ayahuasca. Now, to give you an example of what ayahuasca is, I basically decided to climb Mount Everest when I had never even been hiking. That's like the best analogy I could say. Like, I'd never put on hiking shoes, never walked a trail, and decided to climb Mount Everest. That's what I did. So I don't recommend that everybody do that, but I'm just that type of person. I've always been attracted to that. So basically, anytime I've ever explored psychedelics, I have really only done what is called heroic doses. You can Google heroic doses if you would like, HEROIC, heroic doses of psychedelics. Terrence McKenna's heroic dose of psilocybin mushrooms, I have done. And yeah, it's you are signing a contract that you'll never be the same person. That it really does need to be taken seriously, because I believe that to be true. I think you're signing a contract that you'll never be the same person again. And I'm totally cool with that, right? It has only made me grow in ways I couldn't even imagine prior to doing this. So ayahuasca, I went to see one of the most famous shamans living. His name is Don Howard. Don Howard has become even more famous because he's Aubrey Marcus's shaman. So I went and did ayahuasca where Aubrey Marcus did. And so the next thing I knew, I was on a plane to Lima, Peru. I went to Houston, Texas, flew to Lima, Peru, flew from Lima, Peru to Iquitos, Peru, got on a riverboat, took a riverboat down the Amazon River for 2 hours, and arrived at a sanctuary with 22 strangers who I had never met. And I lived there for 8 days and did 4 different ceremonies of ayahuasca. Now, this was life-changing just because of all those things I just said, right? So you have all these 22 strangers from all around the world, all from different countries, and you're living in a sanctuary where there's no cell phone, no Wi-Fi. They had emergency Wi-Fi service for emergency situations. So no cell phone, no Wi-Fi, nothing but like hammocks. So literally you do a ceremony, then you have a whole day, whole night off, whole next day, then you do another ceremony. There's a ceremony every other night. The rest of the time, I swam in the Amazon River. I hung out with local tribes, played with little kids and, tribes people, and had monkeys climb on my head and held snakes and did all sorts of crazy stuff. But most of the time I laid around in hammocks and journaled about what I saw while using these psychedelics. So the most important part about psychedelics is integration. Integration is everything. You don't just get all the answers during a vision and then just you're fixed. No, you have to integrate. You have to do the work. I actually recommend that everybody see a therapist seeing a traditional therapist is huge for me. I've seen a traditional therapist once a week for over 2.5 years now. And she knows about my psychedelic experiences and we talk about them. Anytime I have an experience, I go and talk to the therapist about it. This is a multifaceted thing. Guys, self-growth is work, right? You got it. I mean, it's so silly. People just sit around and wallow in self-pity and want things to be different and don't do anything. Like, I work on self-growth every day. I journal every single day. I'm doing an inner child workbook right now. So I work in this workbook every day. Still, psychedelics are a part of my life, and traditional therapy once a week is part of my life. This is all big stuff. So with ayahuasca, anyway, I end up there. I'm in the jungle. I'm there for 8 full days. And I actually did use, after these trips, I did use Wi-Fi. I asked for the emergency Wi-Fi once to call my parents crying and tell them how much I love them. I just had to. I was like, no, this is an emergency situation. I need them to know how much I love them right now in case I don't come back from Peru or whatever, right? Like, I just needed them to know. It was really, really important, right? So what happened for me is, like, I listen to too much. So be careful with podcasts, right? Because there are guys like Aubrey Marcus who go on podcasts and will just walk you through their entire, this is what I saw and I rode a dragon and I blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to that shit, right? Because then you're going to get it in your head and you're going to think that you need to see all this crazy stuff or whatever. That's what I went into. I went with a bunch of other people's stories in my head, and my intention went in just like, yes, I'm going to have crazy visuals and get all these answers, right? So I went in the first 3 ceremonies, I had no visuals at all, maybe some colors, and that was about it. So I'm sitting there with an eye mask on, drank heroic amounts of ayahuasca, and nothing's happening. And the next day, these talking circles, people are talking about all the stuff that they saw, and people are purging. You have buckets for vomit, so people are purging. You hear purging all around you, and some people are crying, and you're all in the same room. It's crazy. And then there's shamans around you, and they're blowing smoke, and they're doing ikaros, like singing to you, and they're shaking these shakers, and there's jaguar skulls around. It's crazy madness, right? Really cool. And what's happening is all these people are going through childhood trauma. They say that one night of ayahuasca is the equivalent of 40 years of traditional therapy. I actually do believe that to be true now because of experiences I've had other than this first one. The first one was kind of weird for me because I had no idea what I was in for. I wish I would have like smoked DMT or something prior to doing ayahuasca, so I would have at least known where I was going, like what this other dimension feels like, right? I know this is getting crazy woo-woo. Let's just go into this. Why not? So the first 3 nights I drank all this ayahuasca, nothing happened at all. No purging, no visions, no nothing. Now, it was very deep meditation for sure, and I was journaling. So I'm journaling, like, oh my God, I'm not getting anything out of this, blah, 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 blah. So the 4th night comes, and the 4th ceremony comes, and I talk to Don Howard, and I say, listen, man, something's like wrong with me because I'm like not having any visuals. And he's like, no, not having any visuals is perfectly normal. But now keep in mind, this is a famous shaman. He's been interviewed on CNN. He's been on podcasts. He's one of the most famous in the world, doing this for 50 years. And he called me an actual anomaly. He said, you're an anomaly. And here's why you're an anomaly, because I've never seen anybody drink as much ayahuasca as you have over the last several days and not purge at all, meaning no vomiting, no diarrhea, none whatsoever, no purging. So my body was like a sponge for ayahuasca. Now, what's really funny is ayahuasca can actually work really well for injuries. People that go there with like these debilitating injuries, sometimes even real serious medical conditions. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to talk about medical stuff on the podcast. But these things that are kind of miraculously getting better, right? So my body seemed to be like a sponge for ayahuasca. So for this reason, he agreed to give me like basically 4 times a normal dose on that last night. So I took like 4 times a normal dose, drank 2 giant cups of ayahuasca, and waited about 3 hours meditating, and nothing happened. So I got pissed off and I just went to bed. It's like, screw this. So I lay down in bed. I'm in bed for 5 minutes. I wake up. Go to the bathroom. Bleh, tiny little purge, like just a bleh, right? And the next thing I knew, I was like blasted into different dimensions for like the next 11 hours. It was unbelievable. I mean, white knuckle on my bed, like, what's happening, right? And I won't tell you like all the craziness or go into like exactly what I saw and stuff. Saw my whole family. I saw childhood stuff. A lot of crazy stuff went up, but I'm not going to walk you through the details. So it was insane. It was insane. Like the one thing I always tell people, and I just leave you, I'm going to leave you with this as a cliffhanger, is like I met Jesus Christ, right? Face to face, like an actual person. Like, oh, okay, you're here. Wow, what's up? So anyway, but so on the back end of this, so the next day in the talking circle, everyone's like cheering. They're like, Justin, I had visions. Oh, this is crazy. You got visuals. This is awesome, right? So we go through the whole thing. I go back home, and I still stay in touch with a lot of those people. They're one of my best friends in the world. Christian is in Norway, And that's how we met. We met on that trip. I'd never known him before then. One of my other really good buddies, Dustin, I met him on that trip. There's a bunch of people that I still stay in touch with. I made like lifelong bonds with these people. So just being away from cell phone service and Wi-Fi and everything for that long was amazing. Laying around in hammocks, journaling. But here's the thing. I was wrong about not having visions. I was wrong about not getting anything out of those ceremonies. What had happened was I had basically the deepest meditations of my life. And now that I know what those other realms feel like, I know how these things communicate with you. Like, for example, you'll have these thoughts that you've never had before that you think are your thoughts, but it's almost like telepathy. It's like something is communicating with you, right? So I had all these crazy thoughts during these experiments, during these experiences, and was journaling about them. And the next thing I know, I got home and I'm reviewing the journaling, and I'm like, oh, okay. I literally just explored my entire life, all of the issues in my life. I'm going through this journal on the plane ride home, and I'm like, everything's awesome. Like, life is awesome. I know exactly what to do. Like, work-life balance, all this crazy stuff that I was looking into. So I got home, and what happened was all the things that seemed very difficult were now suddenly very easy. Like, for instance, I have an article called "Is Your Happy Life Slowly Killing You?" This is when I was powerlifting and doing CrossFit and playing gigs 5 nights a week. I was in a toxic relationship. I was drinking a lot of alcohol. All these things were happening when I went down to do ayahuasca and when I was researching ayahuasca for 1.5 years. So I came back and literally just was doing, in the middle of a CrossFit workout, doing thrusters. And I threw the bar on the ground, looked down at the bar and said, this is stupid. Why am I doing this to my body? And I quit CrossFit that day, and I've never done CrossFit since. Done CrossFit style workouts or whatever in my gym or whatever, but I've never stepped foot in a CrossFit gym again. Never done another CrossFit workout ever, right? It's like, this is bad for my body. Effortlessly got out of a toxic relationship that I've been trying for a long time to get out of. Effortlessly gave up doing gigs that weren't serving me, certain bar gigs I didn't want to do anymore. Virtually quit all alcohol. I mean, the decisions that were very difficult before I went down to Peru were just seemingly effortless. It was really crazy. It was just like things that weren't serving me went away. And that was it. My positivity went through the roof. I started working more on Clovis, working less on music, admitting to myself that the music industry wasn't making me happy and not feeling guilty about that. Unbelievable. Now, and guys, remember, this is just my first trip. Like, I have done way more work since then. I've done ayahuasca on multiple continents at this point. And then there's all the other psychedelics, some of which I think are actually more powerful. I would say if you want to Google Terence McKenna, Terrence, I believe, Mckenna, Terence McKenna, heroic dose. If you Google Terence McKenna, heroic dose, he's talking about mushrooms, and that's the most impactful experience I've ever had in my life. That'll also give you an idea of how crazy I am, because most people would never do this, ever. Yeah, most people are probably not in a place where that would be beneficial for them. It's quite an experience. But anyway, that's, I think it's 9 now, right? Is it 9? Yeah, it's 9. So just wanted to share a little bit with that. I mean, the thing is, I can't just sit here and recommend psychedelics. Like, for instance, there are some people, like, if you deal with like bipolar or multiple personality disorder or anything like that, like, this can get real hairy really quick, and you would need to talk to some serious professionals and know a lot more than I do before you want to go down that road. Now, Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, will give you a great glimpse into this, because what they're talking about is the depth of what's happening is really the default mode network. It is the ego. So the psychedelic experiences literally are meant to turn off the ego, turn off the default mode network. Essentially, you're seeing life like through the eyes of a 3-year-old. So they've done functional MRI scans on like a 3-year-old and an adult on psilocybin mushrooms, and it's quite similar. So what's happening is when you're a child, the default mode network, that ego is not built in yet. You guys don't understand this. All of your problems are ego. All of them are ego, period. You are the reason for your own problems, 100%. That's all there is to it. So you can actually turn that off in these states. So the way they explain it is with addiction, let's say, you're on the top of a ski slope, your skis are on the same track, you keep going down the same track, same track, same track. Addiction. You grind those skis so deep into the snow, you can't turn left or right. There's no way out. You're stuck in that addiction pathway, right? Psychedelics come along, and it's as if they lay a fresh coat of powder across the whole mountain. Now you can twist, turn, go down different slopes. You can go anywhere you want, do anything that you want to do. Just kind of hit the hard reset button, right? So the one thing I will tell you, and I actually, let me see, I wrote notes on this because I wanted to tell you this. So the one thing I will tell you is, the deeper I've gone into this, is that the world is absolutely a playground. And the deeper I've gone, the more meaningful the experiences I've had, the more I actually find simulation theory to be quite plausible. Because if you really look around, this is like a video game. So I'm gonna break your brain, and then we'll hop off this live. So stick around with me for a minute. I want you to understand the truth behind this. This is true, and your ego is gonna push back, and your ego is gonna say, "No, Justin's crazy," and then you're gonna stop and think about it, or you're gonna lay in bed tonight and you're gonna think about it, and you're gonna go, "Oh my God!" Right? So this is what I'm gonna dump on you. You have zero proof that anything in this world exists beyond your own experience. You have no proof that I am real. You have no proof that the people you love the most in this world are real. You have no proof that the room you're sitting in is real. You have exactly no proof. You can never enter my consciousness and see the world through my eyes. Like I always tell people this, I'll never experience a Clovis AMA. I can't, because it's me. I can watch the video. I can't experience a Clovis AMA the way that you experience a Clovis AMA. I know the world through my eyeballs. I lived the AMA in that way, this AMA, right? I don't know that any of you are real. I don't. You don't know that I'm real. This could be like one big episode of The Truman Show where every single thing and every person around you is just a set that was created for you and your experience, right? You actually have no idea and will never have any idea. And you could claim, I'll know in the afterlife when I go to the heaven that I believe in. You don't know. You don't know. You can tell me that you know. You can say, no, I know with 100% certainty. That would actually make you a liar because nobody knows. Sorry to burst your bubble in that, right? But I'm telling you, there's just, you have no proof. You just know the world through your own experience. So how do we know that the world is not a playground, right? So what I mean by this is, and I had a very good friend say this to me and absolutely blew my mind. Now, he said this to me when I was in a particularly dark place in an experience with these medicines, we'll say, that went quite dark, okay? So it was a really, really big thing. And I was glad he was there for me. And he said, this is a quote, I actually wrote it down. He said, you paint your reality. Your consciousness is the lens through which you view reality, and your thoughts, your words, and your action are the paintbrush that create that reality. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are the paintbrush that create that reality. Now, let's take that quote from a friend of mine and then another quote from Tony Robbins. All suffering begins with a focus on the self, right? Everyone is self-absorbed. It's completely self-absorbed. Suffering. Why me? Why me? Why is everything so hard? Everybody runs around in life in fear. And the things that you are in fear of are not things that actually happened to you. They're things that society told you to fear. You need to save money or you'll be poor. You need to pay off credit card debt and have no interest or you'll be poor. You need to do XYZ or you'll be poor. You need to work a certain number of hours a week and you need to do this because it's expected of you and blah, blah, blah. Fear, shame, guilt, fear, shame. Fear about things that you've never experienced. Things you don't even know are real. Think about that for a second. You're afraid of stuff mostly that you've never experienced. Sure, everyone's had bad things happen to them, and then you fear those things. You touch a hot stove, you fear that. That's a real thing that happened, right? But generally speaking, we operate out of places of fear of things that we know nothing about. So think about this. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are the paintbrush that paint your reality. I promise you, you can change your reality. Why do I think life is like a video game? Because I have my life to prove it. I have literally done whatever I have wanted to do for my entire life. I have not had normal jobs. I have not done any of the things that normal people tell me to do. I usually reject all of it and things just keep working out. You ever have that feeling where you're like, oh my God, I'm so broke. And then like somehow you're not living under a bridge in a cardboard box with a needle in your arm? That just never happens. You're always afraid of money. Always, always, always afraid of money. And somehow you still got a nice roof over your head and a kitchen and there's food in the fridge and you got an iPhone. Mm-hmm. What are you so afraid of? What's everybody so afraid of? Right? Think about that. You have no proof that any of this is even real. None. Zero proof. And yet you're endlessly afraid of all the things that could go wrong. Stop it. AMA number 84. Boom. Talking about psychedelics. I might do a whole episode on psychedelics at some point and just do a Just Justin episode or something like that. What do we got here? All right, let's see. Comments. I want to send this to my husband to help him with his trauma and PTSD. He's on heavy antidepressants. That's awful. You should absolutely send him this. There's another one called Trip of Compassion. Google Trip of Compassion. It's on Vimeo, and watch it immediately. I'm not kidding. Make this the top priority that you have in your life. Not fucking around. Make this the top priority in your life. Michelle, listen to me. I'm talking directly to you. Make this the top priority in your life. Look up Trip of Compassion on Vimeo. Then look up Neurons to Nirvana on Amazon Prime. Look up both of them. Watch them. Read How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. And then reach out to the right people like MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Sciences, I believe. MAPS, MAPS.org, I think is the website. Contact the right people and get him the help he deserves. Dead serious. I could not be more serious about this. Make that happen. Okay. What else we got? So is this what we can expect if you plan any Clovis trips? If it was legal, 100%, but that would be very, very hard to pull off unless we want to do a retreat in a different country, which I'm totally down for. But remember, guys, this stuff ain't free. Okay. Clovis retreat would have happened a long time ago if I thought that you guys would actually do it. Okay. Tough love. Let me just talk to you here. Everybody loves to talk about the Clovis retreat until I tell you, you want to do a retreat the way that I want to do a retreat? I hope we got a couple $1,000s saved up. Okay? It's the only way that this makes sense. What else we got? I want this in a voice clip. It all goes out in a podcast. You can have all these episodes as a podcast. Don't worry. How does this fit into systemic oppression? What? Yeah. I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole because I think I know where that comment's going. Dude, totally get it. You were a trip. Fear and guilt is not from above. The retraining of the brain is from the book that I shared, Reprogramming Your Brain. Awesome. Yes, please. Totally. Please. Thank you. Awesome. All right, cool. I'm glad you guys like psychedelic talk. That is awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Artina, I'll touch on your question real quick. Yeah. Healthy Cell on Amazon is not the same as Healthy Cell Pro. I thought I emailed you about this, but it's not the same thing. Healthy Cell Pro and Healthy Cell are two different things. You can get normal Healthy Cell on Healthy Cell's website as well for the same price that you'll see it on Amazon. Two different products. Read labels very carefully. Okay. Two different products. All right. What else we got? I think that's it. Guys, it's 9:10. Going to wrap this one up. AMA 84. Hope you enjoyed all my crazy woo-woo talk. If you did, let me know. Guys, send me feedback on these AMAs. If something strikes you in the AMA, send me an email about it. If you want more information on it, send me an email about it. If you want links to all these things will be in the show notes. If I mention like Trip of Compassion, I mentioned Michael Pollan's book, I mentioned MAPS and their research on PTSD and all these things, that's all going to go in the show notes at clovis.show. It's really critical that you guys go check these show notes once they're released so you can get all the links to these things, because this is life-changing shit. Clovis.show is full of life-changing stuff that you guys are probably not taking advantage of. One click will get you to all these things that will absolutely change your life. Put in a little bit of legwork, everybody. I can't do it for you, right? I can't. I can give you all the information in the world. I have all this wisdom that you guys come here to see through experience, through doing. That's the difference between me and most influencers. I have not been sitting around my house for the last 7 years. I've been doing a ton of stuff, okay? Lived it all. You're not gonna come up with a single psychedelic experience you can think of that I have not done, okay? So let's do it. If you guys want help with this stuff, just let me know. I give you all the resources you can handle, no problem at all. All right, I think that's it. So AMA number 84, thank you guys for submitting questions. Give me a shout. Let me know if you like this episode. If you want more information like this, more content like this, let me know. Again, IamClovis.com, $30 bags of Perfect Paleo Powder. That is now not a secret anymore. It was released on the Charles Bird podcast. It's going to go out on this podcast. $30 is going to be the price on Amazon, which means things are going to get really, really nuts. Thank you for the love button, the happy button, the like button, the share button. Click the share button, share this on your timeline. Make all your friends think you're nuts for listening to some guy about psychedelics. All your super conservative friends will think you're an asshole. It'll be funny. I like that stuff. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go get in the sauna, take a cold shower, get some sleep, turn off the screens, get some deep sleep. I love you guys. I'll see you in the groups tomorrow. Facebook.com/groups/Clovis Academy. Get in there. If you want to work with me one-on-one, iamclovis.com/start. I highly suggest you do this soon because that entire custom plan situation is going to be changed up real soon. A lot of things are going to be changing with Clovis. So it's getting really hard for me to keep up with the one-on-one stuff. So I really want you guys to take advantage of that while you can, okay? Because things are probably going to have to change in the future. Otherwise, I won't be able to give the same standard of care that I'm used to giving. It's just scaling is hard, right? All right. Thank you guys so much. You are awesome. Have a great night. Happy AMA day. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow in the groups. Bye-bye.